على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم وبعد. اللهم أكرمنا بدون الفهم وأخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم وافتح علينا بمعرفة العلم وسائر أخلاقنا بالحلم وجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاكم الله خير for coming. Alhamdulillah. It's with the attendance of and the intentions of wanting to learn that we can, that these classes can take place. Alhamdulillah. So today, night, inshallah, we're going to finish the chapter of wudu. Alright? Before we start, any questions, just an icebreaker. So in the classes, we'll just have icebreakers. So can be pertaining or not pertaining. But once it goes on obviously. So last week we finished the faraid, the fard of wudu. I'll go over it very quickly. Um, so what I've been experiencing in this is the third class. So I'm grounded in the Shafi'i madhab. Past 20 years we've been studying the Shafi'i madhab, teaching the Shafi'i madhab, and then within the classes are a few Hanafis. So we just give a few opinions of the Hanafi madhab. However, we don't attend, we don't give the correct appreciation to the Hanafi madhab sometimes like we should. And when reading it, I got a deep appreciation for the Hanafi madhab. And no matter what madhab we come from, we should learn to appreciate the different madhab. Because it opens up your mind. Otherwise, we become fanatical. This is how it is, and this is how it must, so gemaakt en so gelaat staan. But once you become more open, you can become more fluid. Certain situations you can move and you can change. So last week we did something interesting. We did the faraid when we finished the faraid. Just to go with that, the faraid, according to the Hanafi madhab, are 4, according to the Shafi 6. The 4 of the Hanafi is the 4 that comes in the Quran. فاغسلوا وجوهكم, wash your faces, وأيديكم, with the arms, إلى المرافق, to the elbows, وامسحوا برؤوسكم, wiping the heads, and your وأرجلكم, and إلى الكعبين. Good. So, and washing the feet. So according to the Hanafi, that is the 4 faraid. You have to do that. If you don't do that, your wudu is not correct. So the Shafi'i, most of us are Shafi'iyya, we add an extra 2. The first one is the intention. The Hanafi do not consider the intention as part of the fard, and they have a very good reasoning with regards to this. The Hanafis have this idea of when you do something and it can't just happen. It's like you're not just taking a walk, you're actually washing your face, then you're washing your arms. That cannot be except for something specifically called salah. So they would say for such an action you won't need an intention. With me. So the Shafi'i obviously said no, you must have the intention in the okay? So we can understand and appreciate how the madahib differ. However, we'll find that tonight the Hanafi do say this, it's a sunnah. Okay, it is a sunnah, which means it is recommended to do this, and you get rewarded to have the intention. But I was mentioning that by the way because the Shafi'iyya had the niyyah, right? And they add that sequence. So that's the thing. So in the Shafi'i madhab, you can't change the sequence, right? The Hanafi madhab can change the sequence, not recommended, it's not part of the Sunnah. Abu Hanifa would say this is not part of this is not the process supposed to do. But if you do it, you're not going to do yourself, you still accept it, right? So let's go on from the Fara'id. Now, the Hanafi also have a division, right? The Hanafi madhab you find is it's a very logical madhab, very logical. One of the reasons for this is Imam Shafi'i radiallahu anhu, he resided in the Arabian Peninsula. He stayed in the Arabian Peninsula. And in the Arabian Peninsula, in Makkah and Medina, he studied under Imam Malik for 16 years. Imam Malik was very strict with regards to taking a hadith. The founder of the Maliki madhab, he studied under Imam Malik for 16 years, right? And before that, he learned the pure Arabic tongue in the desert, etc. He became the mufti of Makkah at the age of 15. So, Imam Shafi, the reason I'm saying this is because Imam Shafi had lots of access to a hadith. You ask him something, the first thing he says, Qala Rasulullah, the Prophet says. Ask me another thing, he says, the Prophet says. Because he had access to all that Sahaba in Makkah and Medina. Abu Hanifa in Iraq, he never had the access to the ahadith that Imam Shafi'i had. He had a little access to them. So, but he was also very strict with regards to accepting a hadith. So he had to use the hadith that he had, right? And he had to stretch this hadith to have to suit the circumstances. Because you see in Makkah, things would pretty much go the same way like it used to go. Right? Something came up, oh, this happened in the time of Prophet ﷺ, and this is what the Prophet ﷺ says. But in Iraq, things are totally different, right? So Abu Hanifa has to apply his mind to solve the issues at that particular time. So the Hanafi madhab is categorized very, a lot of mental gymnastics that's happening over there. Very logical. Beautiful madhab as well. So that's the difference between the Shafi madhab and the Hanafi madhab. So you'll find these extra divisions in the Hanafi madhab. So in the Hanafi madhab, we have what we're going to do tonight is, well, we would just understand it as Sunnah. Who's Hanafi in this class? One Hanafi, right? So the Shafi'i would understand it to just be Sunnah, but the Hanafi makes extra categories. They say no. There's something called a Sunnah, and there's something called a Mustahab. Sunnah, Mustahab to us is the same thing, right? The Shafi'i is the same thing. But according to Abu Hanifa, according to the Hanafi madhab, Sunnah and Mustahab is different. Sunnah is ma wadaba alayhi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That means the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam often did. And sometimes he left it out. So we would say this is Sunnah Mu'akkada. Right? If you know the term Sunnah Mu'akkada, the Shafi madhab. Then there's something called Mustahab. Mustahab, according to the Hanafi madhab, so there will be a category for this, is something that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam very rarely did, like once or twice. Right? And you often leave it out. Okay? So we, the Shafi'i madhab would say that's Sunnah, غير مؤكد. Remember, the focus on the Hanafi madhab in this particular class. So, after the Fara'id, Fard al-Taharati, so we have the, let me just see where we are. Okay. So the Sunan of Tahara, okay, firstly, is Ghasl al-Yadayn. That's where we stopped last week. This قبل إدخالهما الإناء ثلاثا إذا استيقظ المتوضئ. So to wash the hands 3 times before you putting it into the utensil. So then you have access to time. Sometimes we don't have access to time, so the water is off. Then we want to put it in a utensil. Now, obviously, there's a highlight made over here that you must wash hands 3 times before you put it in a utensil. Okay? When you wake up, put it in a utensil 3. So you wash your hands 3 times before you put it in the utensil. Now, why would somebody that is sleeping, right, wash his hands 3 times? Somebody don't know his hands wash when he's sleeping. Simple thing, right? There's a hadith that I recall. I've heard it. I never read it. I might have read it once or twice, but I forgot. So I can't say this hadith is authentic. You might have heard it before. Somebody said, no, you know his hand sleeps. So when he was sleeping, his hand was in his back. His feet was in his backside when he woke up. This is just because he was mocking this and that. Don't ever mock this, right? This is the best, the most hygienic way of living. So the other thing is also, by washing your hands before you put it in the utensil, you don't wash your hands in the utensil. Because if you wash your hands in the utensil, then that water becomes musta'amat, becomes used. So if there's a beaker of water that's a liter, and I decide I'm going to wash my hands in that beaker, then that whole liter there becomes used, nobody can use it. It's used water. Okay? However, if you take from the water and you tend to wash it outside of the utensil, then you can still use the water because the water is not used. Alright? Just something for you to just ponder about. There's a scientist, a Japanese scientist, you can check this out, forgot his name, some weird Japanese name. He took photos of water molecules in different situations. Just the side note. You get this disco and where the disco is playing, he froze water molecules and he took a picture of it. And in like places of, not necessarily Islamic places, but just places where they are praying, happening. Froze the water molecule, took a photo of it. Now water molecule almost like a snowflake kind of thing. But he noticed that in bad places, right, it takes a terrible shape. This is scientific, it's not Islamic thing, right? And in places of prayer, it takes a beautiful shape. Why am I mentioning this? Because the Prophet ﷺ says, if you sit next to a good person, good company, that person affects you. And we more than 80% water. So in other words, our physical water molecule in our body, it changes. And when the angels come down, the idea of the water molecules in the body takes a beautiful shape. So this little sitting over here doesn't seem, we're not gaining anything in the dunya. It's just like wasting time. You're going to be watching TV, earning money, relaxing on the bed. It's better than Facebook the whole time, whatever. You could just be surfing the net. But over there, you're not. Your water molecules is having a bad shape. You're still taking a beautiful shape. You with me? So this is also the idea of blue coming into the body with the angels comes, the angels come up. Just decide. So first wash your hands before you put it in a utensil. The Hanafi madhab, there's always this clause when you wake up, but it's not just for people that wakes up. It's just more emphasized for people that wakes up. Alright? But if you don't wake up and you want to take wudu, still wash your hands before you put it in the utensil. Number one, you don't want to mess up the utensil. And number two, the hand is going to be the utensils that you're going to use to wash yourself. So it's sooner to wash your hands from the fingertips up until the wrist. Okay? Because that's what you're going to be using. Then we know me. So it does. So we do this whether we are asleep or after we wake up, or whether we don't wake up. We wash the hands. وَالتَّسْمِيَةُ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى فِي ابْتِدَاءِ الْوُضُوءِ. According to the Hanafi madhab, right? They say Bismillah before you take wudu. This comes in hadith as well. Yusammillah, right? Yusammillah. So again, the Hanafi madhab would transmit two things. The word, if I'm not mistaken, is Bismillah. Then you have Alhamdulillah al-Azim. That is the words that is transmitted. You just have a look here. Here we go. ولفظها المنقول من السلف وقيل عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بسم الله العظيم والحمد لله على دين الإسلام. That word is recommended in the madhab to say that. The Hanafi madhab, بسم الله العظيم والحمد لله على دين الإسلام. However, scholars in the Hanafi madhab, again, they differ. They say you can mention anything. You can say La ilaha illallah, because the word Yusammillah, which is transmitted from the Prophet ﷺ, that Yusammillah, actually, it's a very vast, it's not just Bismillah. To make the tasmiyah is not to say Bismillah, is to mention Allah. So La ilaha illallah can also work according to some of them. So it is sunnah to say the basmala before wudu. Okay? Was-siwak, to make a siwak. Siwak is a very important thing. Siwak actually sharpens your mind. Okay? Can you use a toothbrush in place of siwak? Yes, you can. It's to brush your teeth, to clean your mouth. The only difference is the siwak, the actual stick, has certain benefits that the toothbrush doesn't have. Number one, it stays fresh longer because you're constantly cutting it, so you're constantly using your bristle. Number two, it sharpens the mind because you're using it quite often. How does it sharpen the mind? I don't know. Prophet says sharpens the mind. Right? Maybe the scientific can explain. Okay, Prophet said that. Not today we're worried about science. Either I mentioned science over there, I just mentioned it because we're a scientific nation. We know the whole idea when the fly falls into the teeth, the bell thing, the Prophet one is the cure and the other one is the poison. And they find that to be true nowadays. You don't have to drink the tea up with fly bells. Just if you want to drink it up with the bell thing. Right? Don't be nice, drink it up now. As you drink it, then you feel more sad than drinking fly tea. But this idea, if you want to drink it, then you must put the whole fly thing. Okay? So, siwak is better than the toothbrush because you're also using it constantly. The toothbrush usually you use it twice a day or thrice a day. Okay? Depending on when you come into the bathroom, when you have access to that. Nobody walks with the toothbrush around. Right? They walk with a miswak around. So the toothbrush usually cleans plaque that has formed in your mouth. The miswak stops plaque from forming in the first place. Right? So the Prophet was very shadid, he was severe. He actually says that there's this hadith, low was the hadith. The word is ashukka ala ummati, but the word before that, if I didn't want to make it difficult upon my ummah, the amartuhum bisiwak qabla kulli salah, before every salah. I would have commanded them to do. Lawla, I think it's akhafu and ashukka ala ummati. Check the wording of the hadith. If I didn't feel to make it very hard on my ummah. So he was very severe. Before the Prophet passed away, one of the few things that he did was make siwak. He couldn't even move properly. He couldn't even speak. But he's looking at the miswak and he wants the miswak. He's asking someone to make it soft for him also. So don't take this as a light sunnah. Right? It can change your life. Right? It can change your life. First thing he did, before he comes into the house, make miswak. Before he greets somebody, makes miswak. Before he makes salah, miswak. This was very much part of his life. So siwak, now according to the Hanafi madhab, the siwak is recommended by when either before you rinse out the mouth, or like during day sometime, right? During, so you will rinse the mouth out, then you're gonna make miswak. So at the time of rinsing the mouth, it's recommended. Then, the idea of using the siwak just before the salah. You see a lot of people do that. They do the siwak before the salah because the hadith, the hadith I just mentioned, لو لا أشق على أمتي لأمرهم بالسواك قبل كل صلاة كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. If it wasn't that I wanted to make it difficult upon my ummah, I just mentioned that hadith now. So practicing on that, what the Prophet ﷺ would have wanted, then make siwak before salah. So the Hanafi madhab, this is the idea of making siwak before salah is even at the time of wudu. However, if you didn't make siwak at the time of wudu, then you do it before salah. See the logic behind that? So you see a lot of logic in the Hanafi madhab. Okay, Hanafi system. You're making siwak, it's 5 minutes ago. I'm making siwak again. Maybe it's unnecessary. If you didn't make siwak at the time of wudu, then it is highly recommended that you make siwak just before salah. But if you didn't get it, the recommendation is not so, it's not so severe over there. Alright? So that is a siwak. Remember this is, it is sunnah. We're busy with what is called sunnah. One, madmada. Madmada. Now, if you look at the hadith and madmada, there's various ways you can make madmada. One with 3 scoops, right? 1, 2, 3, right? The other one is also, you can take 1 scoop, you can make 1, 2, 3, with one scoop, right? Some hadiths, there's this. With 1 scoop, you go with the mouth and the nose. I'm not telling you, I'm just making you confused. I'm saying the hadith that is there. So it's like in the mouth, and you'll see people do that, right? You can practice on that sometime if you want, but I'll tell you the Hanafi madhab now. And there's ikhtilaf. Ikhtilaf, you speak about ikhtilaf, you know the main names in the Hanafi madhab? Obviously Abu Hanifa and Nu'man ibn Thabit, right? And then who's the other main students? Abu Hassan, Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Shaybani, very powerful student, right? And then the other one is Abu Yusuf. Okay, so those are the 3 main names in the Hanafi. I mean, if you go back in time, those are the 3 main founders of the Hanafi madhab. The Hanafi madhab is not everything just Abu Hanifa said. This is a school, a university that has developed for 1,000 of years. So if you're speaking through a madhab, you can be rest assured you're not speaking from your book. Right? You're speaking from, look here, the Hanafi madhab says you can find hadith on that. You can find proof on that. You can find logic on that. Any madhab that you speak about, you're going to be safe. Today you have these people that say, no, we don't want to go through a madhab, we're going to go through you go straight to the hadith. That's like I told you in the first class, like you go to a doctor says, okay, you've got this problem, that problem, you must take this medication 3 times a day. Tell the doctor, no, it's fine. Don't tell me what to do. Give me your books, I'll take it myself. Problem, chance is going to give yourself. This you call half a doctor. You call those half a doctor, right? You don't get too much half a doctors. Half a doctor, those guys that go first year, second year, learn a bit Arabic, now they come, the grootest mufti over here. Anything you ask them, the gunslingers, they just, I give you ask me any question, they're the gunslingers. Right? You're not gunslingers, right? You're not gunslingers, we sharpshooters. Take your time. Right? Ask me a question now, tell me next week. Why? Because I want to read it first. Double check. Right? I don't need to know, I don't need to be clear in front of you. Alright? Don't be clear in front of you. The idea is check the stuff like a student, like a proper student supposed to do, and then give over the heart. That's what we try to do. Okay? So the mother, what is it? God. It means, so it's to rinse out the mouth. The gargling is, so it's like this to gargle, rinse the mouth, spit out. So must we do this with three scoops or 1 scoop? So, according to the Hanafi madhab, both can work, but they prefer 3 scoops, right? 3 scoops is preferable. Whenever there's an ikhtilaf, like say following the Hanafi madhab or the Shafi madhab, doesn't matter what madhab, you touch a lady, it's better to take wudu or not. According to Abu Hanifa, you break your wudu. According to Abu Shafi, break your wudu. But according to both of them, just take wudu again. Then it was out of the khilaf because everybody say okay. Why must you not be asperse? It's just not, it's not difficult. In the haram, lady touched you in the tawaf, the 2 places there, and then I'm not going to take it. But no, follow Hanifa. If you Shafi, if you're Abu Hanifa, follow the Hanafi, no problem. So there is a differences of opinion with regard to 3 scoops, 1 scoop. But it's better to take 3 scoops to wash them out. When it comes to the nose, it's in sharp. There's also a difference of opinion in the matter between Abu Hanifa and the rest of them. But this is a stronger ikhtilaf. When you speak about ikhtilaf, what we speak about? Ikhtilaf is an argument. None of us have to agree on anything. We're different, I come from different things, we might disagree with a lot of things. Right? That's called ikhtilaf. What's your opinion? What's your opinion? Everybody has an opinion. They have different minds. You must learn to accept differences of opinion, but there must be a khilaf. In other words, you don't like my way, you tell it. Either my way or thine. That is not part of Islam. That's not part of Islam. The idea is you can respect if you want to. So the khilaf over here is stronger, whereby the Hanafi madhab says, look, you can, if you want to take 3 scoops with the mouth, fine. I mean, 1 scoop with the mouth is fine. But don't do it with the nose. Right? Why? Because when you rinse out your mouth, you are able to keep the water in your mouth better. But when you rinse out the nose, the chances are some of that water is going to fall back in your hand. So you're going to rinse out your nose with the same water. You see the logic behind the matter? Right? So now you have that opinion, you can do what you want. The idea is over there, the water is a little, rather use 1 scoop. You know, if you got a lot of water, then use 3 scoops because you can. Okay, so that is istinshaq. By the way, istinshaq is something sunnah most people don't practice upon nowadays. If you get up for salah, if you get up for tahajjud and fajr, you get islam. You feel like monkey mode, you feel like a zombie. To get that gone, what the Prophet used to do is to snip water right up his nose until it reaches the back of his, like getting his head burns. Now when that thing burns, it activates what they call a sleep nerve rather than wake up. You should not back after that. So slip it water in deep, right till it burns. Then you see you wake up and you get for further. Right? So that is istinshaq. وَمَسْحُ الْأُذُنَيْنِ, wiping the ears. Now here again we have a big difference between the two madhab. The Hanafi madhab, when you wipe your head, right? So the wipe head, this is part of wipe head here, right? And the sunnah is to wipe obviously the entire head. But what is left of the moisture in the hands, right? So you wipe your head according to the Hanafi madhab. Don't take new water. There's the moisture that is on your head, and you wipe your ears with that. Okay? So then basically you wipe your head, right? And then what that is, with that moisture, they wipe the ears, according to the Hanafi madhab. However, the Hanafi madhab needs to answer to a hadith, because the hadith, the Prophet says he took 3, he took new water to wipe the ears. So how are they going to respond to that? They respond to that by saying, look, that hadith we accept it is authentic. However, in that particular case, there wasn't moisture from the head of that matter, hands of the Prophet ﷺ, and therefore you had to take new water. They said, if your hands is still wet, wipe your ears. If your hands is not wet enough, then take new water. Okay? Going to the Shafi madhab, take new water in any case. Alright? So, wiping the ears is a sunnah. The index finger goes into the ears, all the grooves and stuff, and then the thumb goes to the top. Right? 2 things happen over the ears. Not just cleaning the ears. Remember, there's a spiritual cleaning and there's obviously a physical cleaning, right? To keep the ears clean. But there's something that happens as well. This is a reflex. There's a lot of nerves on the ear. Right? You know, sometimes want to relax. You get people rub my ears. You get some children, when they sleep, must rub the ears. Even rubbing the ears, right? You must make. The idea of there's lots of this reflexology works over here. Sometimes they massage your head and they do this with your ears. So it's a good thing as well. Okay? So that is wiping the ear. وَتَخْلِيلُ الْلِحْيَةِ وَالْأَصَابِعِ. Takhleel. Takhleel is this. Right? You shouldn't be doing this things after salah. Once you do this, for some reason, the angels go away. Why? Don't know. It's just this is called takhallul. So you're sitting after salah and you're relaxing, you're thinking about things, right? Once you do this, the angels go away. Why? Don't know. It's just right? Maybe the angels don't like it. Maybe they find it offensive. You know, sometimes you sit thinking somebody does something offensive and you feel offended. So maybe the angels feel offended. You know the angels feel offended by things like your mouth smells bad. Like even if it is something fresh like God, the angels don't like that. They go away. The angels seem to be very sensitive with certain things. Right? So they smell bad, they're gone. Right? If you do this, they also they are gone. So takhleel means to do this. It means to take your fingers and go. Takhleel means to take your fingers and go through the beard. That is takhleel. Is ikhtilaf in the madhab whether this is sunnah or mustahab. Abu Hanifa says it's sunnah, Abu Yusuf says it's mustahab. What's the difference? Sunnah is the Prophet mostly do it, very rarely leave it out. Mustahab is rarely do it, not leave it out. Is that the way? Why is there the difference of opinion? Because Abu Hanifa says, look, when you wash your face, if you do this, that's the fault. Then automatically you'll be doing that. Right? Automatically you'll be doing it's like finishing the rest of your face. Right? So he says you don't have to isolate that as an action. Okay? But there are differences of opinion. So this is what is called tahdid, it's regarded as sunnah. Okay? Some say mustahab. So I'm just saying the sunnah mustahab. In our madhab, the Shafi madhab, sunnah Quran. Do this, it's sunnah. Right? So that's called tahleel of the lihya. Then you get tahleel of the asabi'. Asabi' is your phalanges. Phalanges is your fingers and your toes. Tahleel means to do this, right? With your fingers and also with your toes. Now, if water doesn't reach your, like if it doesn't reach the in between your fingers, right? While you're taking wudu, then it's not sunnah, it's fard. It's not sunnah, it's fard because water must go there, right? But if water does go there, then it's sunnah to do it. Just recommended to do it, right? Prophet, why? Because the Prophet did this, right? With the toes also, if it doesn't reach between the toes, it's fard, you must do it. Let's say we really cover that in the fard. This is sunnah. But if it didn't reach it, then it's sunnah. I mean, sorry, if it did reach it, it's sunnah. You start with the right monkey, you go all the way to the left toe, and you use your small monkey to do that. Okay? You know, there was a Sahabi that walked the Prophet and says, your Prophet teach you everything, you know how to wipe yourself. It's like a daddy. These are like children because he even teach you how to clean yourself. So they said that instead of taking it as a mocking, they said, yes, our Prophet taught us everything, even how to use the bathroom. Something of pride. In other words, the Prophet left nothing out. Even how to clean us, we know how to do that. We go to banking, highest level of banking, we do hadith on that. Go to the lowest level of how to clean yourself, we can do that also. Also, the Prophet left nothing out. Okay? So this is takhleed, okay, between the fingers and the toes. وتكرار غسل إلى ثلاث. So this is a good part of Hanafi and Shafi doing it 3 times. When it comes to ghusl, Abu Hanifa says you want to wash 3 times. Right? It doesn't say it must wipe it once. So I think that the ears is also once. Right? According to the Shafi madhab, 3 times. Okay? ويستحب. Now we go to something that is mustahab. There's something in the Hanafi madhab that I don't see a lot of Hanafis practicing. And they should practice it. It's mustahab, which means again, the Prophet would do it sometimes, and most of the time he wouldn't do it. According to Abu Hanifa, the madhab of Abu Hanifa, to take the back of the fingers, not with your with the back of the fingers and wipe the neck. Right? Wipe the neck like this. So it's a good thing that the Hanafis do, right? The back of the neck like this. So after wiping the ears, then you take the. So why use the back of the fingers? What's the logic behind that? Good. That's the one that's still wet. But you must use this for your ears. You must first wipe your ear. There's a little bit moisture, then you wipe your ears. Now, so now the idea is there's still water over there, also not wasting. Use that bit of to wipe the, like, not the hat. Right? Don't wipe the hat. It's going a bit overboard. Right? There's no transmittance with regards to that. Okay? In the Shafi madhab, not recommended. Hanafi madhab, it is recommended. That is mustahab. So those are those things that I mentioned now. Is sunnah. The Prophet mostly did it sometimes. He gives it out. So when we get this water problem, inshallah we'll never get it, but we might be in a situation where the water's cut off or something like that. Now you can just make a differentiation. Okay, that's fine. We'll do that. That's sunnah. We'll do that. For this type of sunnah, the Prophet always did. This type of sunnah, the Prophet really did. So now you can make a differentiation between those things over there. Now those things that is mustahab, right? Things that are mustahab. So what time am I teaching? Yeah, till half past. Okay, I got 15 minutes. I want to finish. With it. Right? This is the third week. We must finish with it. ويستحب للمتودي أن ينبيع الطهارة. According to this is where they differ. Hanafi says it's mustahab to make niyyah. It's mustahab to make a niyyah. What's a niyyah? A niyyah is an intention. Intention happens in the heart. Okay, the intention is not something verbal. It's not something now where you do anzama, anada. That is a verbal. It's a verbal utterance of what is inside. Right? If you left the house, come to the masjid, you didn't say, no, wait to, and I go to the masjid, to Salli, to make maghrib, to face. You don't say all those things. But if somebody to stop us, what are you doing? I'm going to the mosque. but you didn't make intention. I knew what I'm doing. So the idea is the intention happens in the heart. It's very difficult not to have an intention. Okay? So we know that in the Shafi madhab you must have an intention. According to Abu Hanifa, it is highly recommended. Okay? It is recommended. Mustahab, Prophet ﷺ really do. So he would do it sometimes and really so he would do it sometimes and he would leave it out a lot. How to actually determine that when something is sacred? So this is just a recommendation at the time of wudu, make a niyyah. So it's not compulsory. These people that suffer from waswasa, what's waswasa in the soul? They go like this all the time. They don't know they got the intention or not. Or they take wudu 5-6 times because I don't know if I did my arm, or they're making salah, they quickly run to the back. That's called waswasa. Shaitan is messing around, especially with regards to the niyyah, because nobody can see the niyyah. Right? So if you follow the Hanafi madhab with regards to this, you want to waswasa. If you didn't make intention, it's alright. Didn't make intention, don't get them. Okay? Yeah. That is automatic language. Yes. Don't have to do all this stuff. But the idea is the Shafi madhab still recommended. Why? Because it makes your intention firm. It's almost like, now I'm going to drive this car now. You know, the Razi is smart to drive. So you tell yourself, now I'm going to drive this car. You understand? Because now you know you're going to ride. Or you say, no, I'm going to sort this thing out now. You don't need to say it. You're already going to do it. You just say, look here, I'm going to sort this thing now once and for all. Why must you say it? The idea of saying that is just to make the intention that you have stronger. Alright? So again, according to the Hanafi madhab, they would recommend it. According to the Shafi madhab, it is wajib. So, that's an interesting discussion. You have, you know, so there's ikhtilaf with regards to that. So ikhtilaf is going to be difference of opinion. Why is it difference of opinion? Yeah, because what's doing this in the time of the Prophet, so you're not going to find a hadith the Prophet said this, that, and that. But we know when somebody greeted the Prophet, he never responded once. Why? Because he was busy with number one and number two. So he doesn't mention those things while he's busy. He's always uncovered that he's having number one and number two. But he would do it before and after, and it's wajib to greet back, but he wouldn't greet back when he's busy. Right? So some scholars. So what is that? Yeah. The coughing sound is to get that last bit of pee out. Right? Yes. I don't know about that. I must check that. But Shukran for mentioning, I'll check. So the idea of it is if you're in the bathroom, right? Some scholars, right? Modern scholars say that if the toilet is closed, I never read this. I have read it. So I heard it, right? And it's a reputable scholar, especially those gene catchers. You know, I don't know this gene stuff when they must recite certain stuff. When you don't want to do it outside, you must like, oh, don't do all the stuff that they do. They must do it in the bathroom. But now see how we can't recite the toilet. And then they close the toilet pot and that's all right. So I don't know, that can work. But obviously it's better not to mention Allah in the toilet, but in the wudu you can obviously say Bismillah. Alright? And then so, but really that's sunnah both according to the Shafi and the Hanafi to say Bismillah. So, yes, if you didn't say intention was in the heart, it's totally fine. Um, so, 3 times, مستحب للمتوضئ يكفي الطهارة ويستوعب رأسه بالمسح. According to Abu Hanifa and Imam Malik and Ahmed ibn Hanbal and Imam Shafi'i, wiping time, people are lazy. Like, you know, like, okay, for the Hanafi madhab, you make soap with Abu Hanifa, this is for the children, the face up. What is no soap? Those mark lazy, right? But you know, if you want to follow the Shafi madhab, you know what the Imam Shafi says, you must just touch your head. So this goes lazy. Take off your turban. Yeah, take off your turban. You do this, right? And you put your hand here, right? Here at the beginning, you go to the back, you come. Then it's one, right? Don't be shy, you know. Yeah. Yeah, you do better, inshallah. You do better, correct? Also, something that Wudu does, we must speak about. This is the spiritual side of Wudu, which puts nur on your face, and we'll speak about that just afterwards when we have time, inshallah. So, wipe the entire head, right? That is mustahab. والمعاني الناقضة للوضوء. Now what breaks the wudu? Very quickly, I'm not going to give proofs with regards to this. You can give the proofs again some other time. That's it. Yeah, that's one. كل ما خرج من السبيلين كالدم والقيح والصديد إذا خرج من البدن. Okay, so everything that comes out of the private parts, everything, anything that comes out of the. So obviously, this whole thing when they make an incision in your body, some stuff comes out of it. Over these scholars will get you can pass the private parts, or is it on top of the private parts it was digested, all of those type of things. But that we can be for another discussion. So anything that comes out of the private parts, also there's blood, there's pus, then there's also something called sadid. It's like pus, but it's more waterish. إذا خرج من البدن, if that comes out of the body, so if you bleed, right, and it passes the place of tahara, in other words, you bleed more, they say land, there's a flowing. According to the Hanafi mother, if there's a flowing of blood, you cut yourself, but it's just bleeding, just there. Blood is not going anywhere. So right. But the moment that blood starts moving, then you've got a problem because you're passing the place of infliction. That's najis. It's going to break your. It's going to break your bone. Right? There's something that I always found strange. I'll get to that now. والقيء vomiting إذا ملأ الفم. When you vomit to such an extent that the vomit can, you can't keep it in your mouth anymore, it fills up your entire mouth, that type of vomit will break your wudu. We look at the hadith at the next class, inshallah, which is after Ramadan. وَالنَّوْمُ طَاجِعًا. This is where the Shafi the Hanafi differ. If you sleep, laying down, they agree. أَوْ مُتَّكِئًا. Even if you're sitting up and you fall asleep, like you're snoring or whatever, if you're sitting straight up, your wudu is broken. That's a Hanafi. A Shafi, you still got to sitting and your bum is on something flat, right? And you still got to move. Because the flat surface stops anything from coming out of the name. أو مستندًا إلى شيء, even if you're leaning upon something, and if you pull that thing off, you're going to fall over. In other words, you're standing up, right? But you're sleeping, but if you pull that thing away from you, you're going to fall down. If they say, no, your akal is big, you need to take wudu again. والغلبة على العقل, like if you lose your mind, والإغماء والجنون, if you become mad. This is what the والقهقه في كل صلاة ركوع وسجود. قهقه, laughing, right? Laughing to such an extent that your neighbor can hear you. But you're laughing now so much in your salah that would break. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, actually wanted somebody to take wudu after laughing like that in his salah. We look at that hadith again. And that's the end of wudu. So that's the what to do. The strangest thing, according to the Shafi's opinion, laugh and others break your wudu. So the idea of whether the Prophet did command somebody to take wudu after laughing loud in his salah. So wudu obviously gives you already in a spiritual state again. You be said with you, you're not so liquor tonight, laughing too loud in your salah. The problem, you take wudu, get your mind ready, and so that's the idea. From the Hanafi madhab, we'll obviously get more proofs with regards to that, but that's the end of wudu, right? Now we'll speak about something else with regards to wudu. Wudu cleans the body, obviously cleans the body. That's the one benefit of wudu. The other thing is it puts a nur on your limbs, right? And this nur shines in the dunya and the akhirah. It shines in the akhirah because the Prophet ﷺ says when you make your wudu, that they call it muhajjirin, right? Ghurran muhajjirin. Then horses. There's horses that brown horses, or the black horses that there's a white stripe over here. So that's called ghurran, right? And muhajjalin is when they have you get a horse and they have white socks, right? The Prophet says if you take wudu, go further up, right? Because that is going to be nur on the day of Qiyamah. And when you wipe your face, go higher, there's going to be nur on the day of Qiyamah. So that's going to shine on the day of Qiyamah, right? It also puts a nur on the body. That puts a nur on the body because it's extra with regards to ibadah. Bilal, radiallahu anhu, Prophet says that his footsteps in Jannah, and he asked Bilal, hey, why are you winning me in Jannah? Your footsteps there. In other words, you beat me there, what's happening? Right? So he said, no, what do you do differently? He said, I take wudu. Every time I break my wudu, I just keep my wudu. So, right? So he constantly was in a state of wudu. If you have a problem in concentrating in your salah, which many people do, then also give more focus to your wudu, right? Even people just make wudu khawfa, right? and make wudu quick, quick. And then the idea is, no, you're going to make wudu, you'll make salah, but focus on your wudu, right? You actually have a better salah if you focus on your wudu. So wudu is a nur on the day of Qiyamah, and you need nur because it's going to be darkness on the day of Qiyamah. So it puts a nur on your face as well. One more thing, wudu washes away sin, right? Wudu washes away sin. Sin has an effect. Many people don't understand this. When you do something wrong, it has an effect, right? Sometimes the effect is depression. Many people suffer from depression. If you look into their lives, oh, look what you're watching it all night. Look what you're looking at. Look how you're right home. So you do all those things. You can't run away and think by the masjid, I make salah, you're on time, stay in the front soft, inside nice, but at home something different. No. The sin always has an effect. So wudu washes the effect of sin. Okay? When you commit a sin, a black spot goes into the heart. Do another sin, another black spot goes in the heart. Till the heart becomes so hard. When the heart is hard, you can sit in any lecture, you can sit by any, they can recite what they want to, don't matter, nothing penetrates the heart, right? Because the heart is black. Because of what the eyes see, what the ears is listening to. These are windows. This here is a window to the soul. This here is a window to the soul. What you look at goes to the heart. Either makes a black spot, makes a white spot. What you listen to goes to the heart. Makes a white spot, makes a black spot. So wudu washes the effects of those things away, but it will affect you according to how black the heart is. Um, Dhikr, dhikr is a very important thing. It makes the heart content. You might argue. So that is the end of the class, inshallah. I'm just going to open it up to random questions. Dhikr was brought up. I'll speak about that till Adhan. Dhikr, arguably, so, the idea is it makes the heart content. But someone will say, no, it doesn't make the heart content. I'm making subhanallah 33 times, whatever. But my heart, I'm filled with anxiety and stress. The problem is the dhikr that you're making is not the dhikr that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning. Dhikr, true dhikr, is a remembrance of Allah every time you see something beautiful. Every time you see like beautiful, Allah made that. Like this mountains here, beautiful mountains. Allah made that mountains. Right? What cell phone can compete with that? Nothing. Right? This window here is beautiful. Right? So you think of Allah every time you see something beautiful. Every time you hear something beautiful. Like the wind again. Like a calm. Allah made that thing. So now, every time you see something beautiful, every time something benefits you, right? Every time something benefits you, think of Allah. And every time you see something perfect, you think of Allah. Those three things are the reason people fall in love. Because they're beautiful, beneficial, or they're perfect. There's no other reason you love. So if you're constantly thinking of Allah, about those, you start falling in love with Allah. And when you fall in love with Allah, what happens? When you fall in love with Allah, what happens is, you're still going to go through the financial difficulty. You must still pay the rent, you don't have the money, you're still stressed. You still go through the problems, wife problems, husband problems, children problems, can't find work, this, that, car's broken, etc. You're still going to go through that. But that can't compare to the love of Allah. So the love of Allah overpowers that. That's why Shaykh is alright, man. You see people on a deathbed, how's it, alhamdulillah? How can you say alhamdulillah was dying? It's alright. Because I'm with Allah. That's why. But if you're not with Allah, وَإِذَا شِيكَ بِشَوْكَ فَلَا تَقِشْ. The Prophet says, if somebody is not in love with Allah, if he speaks with a thorn, he gets angry. My car was scratched. I'm very angry. Very, very angry. I must phone these people now, I must get hold of these people. I'm stressed out. I must pay this now. And that's my life. That's my love. That's what I live for. So, the idea is if you love anything more than Allah, Allah will cause that thing that you love will be your own destruction. You see people, they love their job more than Allah. Allah makes their job their own destruction. I can't sleep. Allah does two things with people like that. Either He loves you back, He don't. If He loves you, what He calls you to be sick. If you're sick, you lose everything. Because while I'm crying back to Allah. So this is where I want you to be. If Allah don't love you, say, I give you more. You want that car, give you 10 cars. Give you 10 houses. You can take alles, take anything you want. I don't even care. Just take what you want. I don't love you. You don't have to cry for me anymore. Cry for someone. So that's the idea. So the reason I'm speaking like this is because we mustn't separate wudu from the love of Allah. Fiqh is not the stuff you do. You have to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have to fall in love with Allah. So we learn wudu. What's the point of learning wudu if you don't smart to take wudu? So take wudu with all the sunnah, all the mustahab and all the fara'id before salah. You see your salah becomes better. Alright. One more minute. Any questions? So the problem with that is, there's one problem with that is, so if you speak about Shafi and Hanafi, and then you say you want to take wudu like the Prophet ﷺ, the thing is, Imam Shafi wanted to take wudu like the Prophet ﷺ. He used the hadith. He said, this is how the Prophet ﷺ take wudu. Abu Hanifa says, okay, this is how the Prophet, they're not different. It's small things that are different, but they're using the same sources. It's just the way they understand those sources. The way they understand the same hadith is different. So a Hanafi can't say, okay, this is how the Prophet took wudu. Right? And everyone else is wrong. And then Imam Shafi says, no. This is how the Prophet was. And everybody else. No. Abu Hanifa is right. Imam Shafi is right. Ahmed bin Hanbal is right. Malik bin Anas is right. Right? You try to take wudu like the Prophet, where are you going to go? You go to Bukhari and Muslim. But you can use your own understanding of what's in that hadith. Right? You can use your own understanding. What's your methodology of thinking? So when you follow a madhab, any madhab, the chances of you taking wudu like the Prophet ﷺ is greater. So a madhab is just a convenient way of understanding what the Prophet ﷺ. My advice, Hanafi, stick to the Hanafi madhab. You Shafi, stick to the Shafi madhab. But if you need to change for something, you change the madhab. It's not a chain on you. Not a chain on you at all. Don't involve like what people do. They create a madhab. Say, no, I want to do what the Prophet did, not what Imam Shafi did. Then don't go to your doctor, man. Just sort out yourself also. Why must you do what the doctor said? You know, the doctor give you, you don't know what's in that tablet. You feel drunk, but you take that tablet because the doctor said this is going to work, right? So the same with the mujtahid, you say, okay, this is how the Prophet will do, this is going to break you, etc. So, we say, but we don't want to create too much confusion today. We're focusing on the Hanafi madhab and the Shafi madhab. Show the differences because it's Cape Town. Cape Town, you find two madhabs, Shafi Hanafi. It's good to know both madhab because you respect both madhab. When you think your madhab is right, the other one is wrong, then you out of that's not the prophetic way. You know the Prophet ﷺ, he went to Bani Qurayza. There was a fight, right? The Prophet ﷺ told the Sahaba, nobody put down your weapons. You sort out Bani Qurayza first. Okay? Nobody makes asr, he said. Don't make asr. Everybody go to Bani Qurayza, we're gonna sort him out first. So all the Sahabas rushed to Bani Qurayza to sort Bani Qurayza out because they let the enemy in. So when they were almost by Bani Qurayza, the sun was setting. So some of them said, yeah, it's almost asr, it's almost maghrib, we need to make asr. Then the other Sahaba said, no, the Prophet said, don't make asr, we must get to Bani Qurayza. We must make asr there, even if it's in maghrib one. So some of the Sahaba said, you can go, it's fine, we're going to make asr there. In the what? You can make asr after the what, because that's what you want to do. Afterwards, the Prophet gets to Bani Qurayza, so now they've got a problem. Some of them made asr after the maghrib adhan. So they told the Prophet, okay, we weren't sure. Well, like you said, don't make asr except when you get to Bani Qurayza. They weren't sure you make asr. Must rashly, you must rashly. So the Prophet just made some. He does. He said, nah. What does he say? Both of you are right because both of you are following what I said. You follow what I said, and my words had ambiguity in it. Like that, you find in the Quran, there's ambiguity can be anything. Right? So there's things in the Quran that you're allowed to go either way. So that's why what I okay, but I think the time is up. So I was asked to give classes on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday. So it will be the first, most probably the first Tuesday after Ramadan. If there's going to be classes in Ramadan, I don't know. I'll have to have communication and agreement from those who correspond